He was friendly until I installed solar panels. Then he said, "Now your house looks like a junkyard." The next morning, I found shattered glass below my roofline. I asked him if he saw anything. He said, "Nope. Must have been the wind." I didn't call the cops, because what I did instead can't be undone. We bought our house in a small town outside Kansas City. It was quiet, slow, and full of people who had lived there their whole lives. The kind of neighborhood where your front lawn matters more than your name. At first, everyone was polite. Not friendly, not cold, just polite. A wave, a short nod, maybe a "how you doin'?" if they felt chatty. Then there was Doug. Lived across the street. Big guy, maybe mid-50s, always outside trimming something, watering something, fixing something that didn't need fixing. He walked over the day we moved in, with a six-pack and a grin. Said he liked knowing who his neighbors were. Name's Doug. Been here 20 years. "Welcome to the block," he said, handing me a beer. I thanked him. We talked for a bit. He mentioned the HOA about 5 minutes in. Called it a necessary evil. Talked about property values and keeping things in order. I nodded along. I didn't care. I just wanted peace. I work from home. My wife teaches elementary school. We mind our own business. We don't throw parties. We keep the yard trimmed. I figured we were the kind of neighbors Doug would like. Then we got solar. I'd been planning it for months. Did all the research, got quotes, checked with the city. I didn't think it was a big deal. No one else had it on our block, but that wasn't surprising. This was the kind of place that didn't like being first at anything. The crew came on a Tuesday in June. It took 3 days. There was some noise, sure, but it wasn't that bad. I kept the workers stocked with water, stayed out of their way, and watched them turn our roof into something smart. Something that would save us money for years. Doug didn't say anything the first 2 days. Just stood on his porch watching, arms crossed, not waving back when I looked his way. On the third day, when they were packing up, he walked over. He didn't even look at me, just stared at the roof and said, "Now your house looks like a junkyard." I thought he was joking. I laughed, kind of awkward. "It's solar," I said. "They're efficient. Helps with the bills." He looked at me then. Real flat. "Doesn't belong here. This isn't California." That was it. He turned and walked back to his house. I told my wife. She said forget it. Just a cranky old man with too much time. The next morning I was taking the trash out when I saw it. Shiny bits near the side of the driveway. I crouched down and picked one up. Glass. I looked up at the panels. 2 of them shattered. Long, white cracks running across the surface like lightning frozen in place. I just stared. It didn't make sense. No storm, no hail, nothing that could do this. Not naturally. I crossed the street. Doug was watering his lawn. Hose in one hand, beer in the other. 9:30 in the morning. I walked up and said, "Hey, did you see anything last night? 2 of my panels are cracked." He didn't stop watering. Didn't even look at me. Nope. Must have been the wind. I waited. Nothing else. He just kept watering his lawn like I wasn't there. That was when I knew. He did it. I don't know if he used a rock or a pellet gun or something else, but I knew it was him. I could have called the cops. I could have filed a report, pulled footage from my Ring camera, gone the right way. But I didn't. Because what I did instead can't be undone. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the dark living room, the glow from the streetlight casting slow-moving shadows across the floor. I was waiting for something. I didn't know what exactly, but I felt like the next move was mine. Doug had stepped over a line. And I couldn't prove it, not in a way the cops would care about. But I knew. I didn't tell my wife at first. I didn't want her to talk me down. So, I started watching. Every night for the next week, I stayed up late, lights off, blinds cracked just enough to see across the street. Doug's routine didn't change. He'd drink beer on his porch, sometimes fall asleep out there. Sometimes he'd vanish into his garage for hours. Lights on, door cracked just a bit. Like he was building something. Then I noticed something else. My mail started coming late. Packages would show up half opened. One was torn on the side, like someone had tried to peek in. I checked with the mail carrier. She said she drops them off like normal. Said maybe the wind blew them around.
Right.
Then my wife's car got keyed. Deep scratches along the passenger side. She thought it happened at school. I didn't tell her what I suspected. I didn't want to drag her into it, not yet. I wanted proof. I got a second camera. Not a ring. Something smaller, something he wouldn't notice. I mounted it under the gutter, pointing at the street and his front yard. 2 days later, I caught him. It was 2:11 a.m. Doug walked into my yard. No flashlight, no sound. Just walked straight up to the trash bins, popped one open and dumped something in. Then he walked away like it was nothing. I waited until morning. Dug through the bin. Under a bunch of bagged-up junk was a piece of wood with nails hammered through it, like a damn trap. I was shaking. I took a picture of it, then burned the damn thing in our fire pit. That day, I told my wife everything. She freaked. Said we needed to go to the police. I told her no. I said if we go that route, it just turns into a slow, frustrating mess. He'll deny it. He'll play dumb. He'll say I planted it. Cops won't do a thing without hard proof he damaged anything. That night, I made a plan. I waited until he passed out drunk on his porch again, around 1:30 a.m., just like usual. Then I crossed the street. Quiet, steady steps. I had gloves on. In my hand, I carried a hammer. Not to use just in case. I went around the back of his house, to the side where his big fancy riding mower was parked.
He always bragged about that thing.
Washed it like a car. Stored it under a tarp like it was worth thousands. I cut the fuel line. Clean, quick. Then I took the blade off and tossed in the creek behind the neighborhood. I knew he'd notice, but not right away. I wanted him to wonder. I wanted him to feel it slow. Then I left a single solar panel tile, just the corner piece I'd kept after the damage, in his mailbox. No note. Nothing else. He didn't say a word the next day. Neither did I. But I could feel it shift. We weren't neighbors anymore. 2 weeks passed. No more damage. No more comments. Doug stopped coming out as much. When he did, he didn't even look in our direction. I thought maybe he got the message. Maybe the broken mower and that piece of shattered panel in his mailbox made him rethink things. Then the letter came. It was folded and taped to our front door.
No envelope.
No return name. Just a short message in all caps. You don't belong here. This is your only warning. My wife found it. She read it 3 times before handing it to me, pale-faced. I told her not to worry. I told her I'd handle it. But the truth was, I didn't know how. I bought more cameras. 4 of them. Put one on the back porch, 2 under the eaves, and 1 angled at the side yard. Every possible angle covered. And then I waited again. On the 4th night, around 3 a.m., the side yard light clicked on. Motion sensor. I rushed to the monitor. There he was.
Doug.
In a dark hoodie, trying to stay low, flashlight in one hand, something long and thin in the other. He crept along the side fence. My tool shed was back there. He didn't even look up at the camera. I called 911. This time, I was done playing. The cops came fast, faster than I expected. Maybe they were bored. Maybe the dispatcher could hear something in my voice. They caught him halfway across his own lawn, trying to pretend he was just walking his dog, even though he didn't own one. They found bolt cutters in his hoodie pocket. And a crowbar. He swore up and down that he was out for a walk, that the tools were for yard work, that I was harassing him, stalking him, making stuff up. But he was on video.
Clear as day.
They didn't arrest him, but they gave him a warning. Told him if he set foot on my property again, it'd be trespassing. They offered to file a report. I agreed. He stayed quiet for a week. Then our dog got sick. Really sick. Vomiting, shaking, wouldn't eat. We rushed her to the vet. They said it was poison. Rat poison, specifically. Put into something soft, probably food. We usually let her run around the backyard. No leash, no tie down. That's where she must have eaten it. I lost it. Something inside me just snapped. This wasn't about solar panels anymore. This was war. And I wasn't going to wait for him to strike again. I had to hit back. But not like before. This time it had to hurt. I still see him out there sometimes, trimming his hedges like nothing ever happened. We don't speak. We don't wave. But I wonder if he knows what I did, what I'm still capable of. And maybe the worst part is, I don't even feel bad about it. Not yet. Maybe that's what scares me the most.